Welcome to another episode of That Crazy Triangle Guy. Here we are looking at the S&P 500 index on the weekly time frame, and we've gone all the way back to the beginning of time, the 1870s. And I have a green trend line here that I've drawn. And here we have the Roaring 20s and the stock market peak in 29 before the big crash. So that was a big bubble there. But since then, the market pretty much follows this trend line, a little bit above it, a little bit below it. We have these rallies and corrections back down to the line or through the line a little bit, like there. And we're already up to the 1970s. Wow. And what is this? This is 1974, yes. That's when I was a little boy right there. And I remember we worked really hard back in those days. And so here we are moving along the green line. What is this? This is really in the 1980s. We just kind of 90s, we just kind of hugged right along the line there. Wow, that's interesting. And then here we are into the dot-com era, and we had a big, huge bubble there and a significant pullback down to the line. And then anyway, you get the picture here. This is the housing market crash there in 2008, and we kind of followed the line. Actually, we're pretty close to the line here in more recent times, and we had bigger moves above it here in the 50s and 60s, and back here in the 30s, and of course in the 20s. Anyway, you know what? Maybe I'll make this a little bit bigger like that. There we go. We can see the moves above the line a little bit better. That's the 50s and 60s right there. And here's the 70s and the 80s. The 90s pretty much hugged right along the line there. And then dot-com era, housing market crash, and the 2000 whatever in the teens. Here's crypto. Crypto came into play here, 2013. Anyway, let's see, 2017 is right here. So the S&P, well, I don't know. I don't want to make a comparison, but you can see the market cycles here in the S&P 500 a little bit bigger with Bitcoin. And then here's 2021. We had a huge move in the S&P and in the crypto market, followed by this huge correction here. And now can't really see the action because my parallel channel is blocking it, but here we are traveling right along the parallel channel for the past couple years, since October 2022. And we're coming away from our green line, having a nice rally, but are we too far away from it yet? Well, not compared to, the past, what is that, 15 years or so, yeah, because we pretty much hugged the line, except for here. Well, the past 10 years, maybe 10 to 12 years, pretty much been hugging the line, and came off it there, had a correction, coming off it again. But prior to that, at the end of this cycle, we had a big, huge bubble, and then another little bubble here. Big, huge bubble, another little bubble. So, I don't know. It's up for debate how long you think we can keep going before we come down. I think we got a ways to go, though, up in this channel. certainly, if we kept going all the way out here, that would be very reasonable before seeing a correction in 2026. So, however, that's macro look at things on the S&P. We are looking at S&P right now. We're not even talking crypto yet, but just kind of want to, because the markets are the markets, and just kind of want to get a feel for where we're at right now. We're on a weekly, and you notice since about a year ago here, this whole time, we've been traveling in the lower portion of this channel. And we go to the bottom of the channel, up to the top, come back down, etc., etc., etc. And if we don't come down, the blue line is a 21-week moving average. So you can see that we correct down to it and bounce off. And other times we go down to the bottom of the channel. Here we came all the way through the channel. What the hell was that? Oh. Well, no, that was 2022. Why did we come down so far there in October of 23, a year ago? I don't know. What the hell? Anyway, here we are today. Most recently, in August, we came down to the bottom of the channel. And since then, we've just only come down to the 21-week moving average. And we've come back up now to the center line of this channel, which, if it's any indication of what we've done in the past couple years, when we come up to the center line, we come down and correct either to the 21 or the bottom of the channel, or if it's really bad, we go through the bottom of the channel. So we are due for a correction. And are we due for a correction a little bit more than what we've done so far? We are on a weekly, so let's switch to a daily. Oh, and you can see I have another center line drawn here between the center line and the bottom of the channel. You can see how we've also used that as support here and back here, and resistance there, and resistance here. Anyway, so that comes into play too. So, regardless of whether you think we could, now, you see the corrections are kind of spaced out here. Here we come down to the center line, we rally up there, then we come back down to the center line. And then we had this. That was the carry trade thing, the Japan carry trade thing. And then we came back up. I mean, we didn't get all the way up here because we were kind of wounded from this. Came back down to the 21-week moving average here, and didn't come down much at all right there. Maybe something that I don't know of. Came back down to the center line here, and then here we came up and quickly came back down. So now what? Because this was pretty quick that we came back down here. And are we going to come all the way down to the center line? Are we going to come down to the 21-week moving average? Or are we just kind of going to go sideways a little bit here? Sideways and down to here, to the center line of this. And by that time, the 21-week moving average will have come up here. That would put us out here maybe to the end of the month. The end of November. Right here is the end of November. Anyway, tomorrow looks like a red day from where we're at. So maybe just tomorrow, maybe this week, we come down to the center line. and then continue back upwards. Could very well be. I think from the looks of things, though, that we probably do trend downwards rather than upwards here. I think we got a little bit out of control. We made new all-time highs here. So in my opinion, it does in lecture exuberance here and what have you. So maybe we just kind of cool off here. I don't think we explode from here, though. Could be wrong. So that's just to get a feel of what's going on in the market. Now here we are in crypto. We've had a hell of a rally the past week or so. And now we're having a little bit of a pullback. A lot of things in the red here. A lot of alts in the red. However, Bitcoin's in the green. So maybe money's coming out of the alts and back into Bitcoin. Could be. But you see the total, whoops, stop that. Actually, while there is a lot of red, the total 3 is a little bit in the green still here. Total 2's down because that would mean Ethereum's down. Yeah, Ethereum's seeing a pullback of a few percent. Bitcoin's seeing a rally of about a 1.5% to the upside, and total 3 is just a barely green. So some of them are losing, some of them are winning here. Let's see what XRP's doing. That's crazy, huh? Freaking XRP. Here we are. Yeah, it's pulling back a little bit. It's around $1.10. Yeah, so there's a little pulling back at Solana. Solana's still positive. That's great. How about Render? I own a lot of... Oh, good. Render's back in the green. Yes. Okay. So you got mixed results in the altcoin market. Anyway. Dogecoin. Yes, that's good. Curve. Wow, Curve is making a big comeback. It really sold off when it had some sort of I don't know what it had. Was it a hack or something strange happened with Curve quite a few months back or something. They lost a lot. Boom. Okay, Bitcoin. All right, you can see here the top Bitcoin here that's the index. It's trading at 91,800, and below it, CME futures is trading at about a $560 premium to spot. Bitcoin dominance is up a little bit for the day. Well, duh, because the alts are seeing a little bit of a pullback, profit taking. Now, what is Bitcoin going to do? So we already know S&P. Whoa, look at that. Yeah. Let's go to a different chart first of all. The S&P, as we looked at earlier, looks like it's gonna, sideways or a little bit of a pullback still. You know what? I should have measured that. Why don't I? Let's go measure the S&P right now. And if it did pull down to this line, if we saw it come down here, yeah, let's say into the end of the week, that's about a 2%. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, overall, about a 2% drop heading into the end of the week. which could be like 6 to 10% maybe in the crypto market, right? So, or do we see the crypto market explode from here? That is the question. Oh, damn it. I just went to this. I didn't want to go to that one. I want to go to this one over here. This one's Coinbase. I've removed a lot of the lines here. Look at that. I've removed so many lines. These dotted lines here represent the weekly and 5-day Gaussian channels, although I haven't adjusted them for quite a while, so they might be a little bit off right now. But I got to point this out. This green line I drew back here in the beginning of October, like October 3rd or 4th, something like that. And this was my prediction of what price action would do over the coming couple months. And I pretty much nailed it. Look at that bottom there. Of course, as I remind everybody, we only came down to 58.8 here and not all the way down to my order, which was down here. And by the time I bought in, I didn't get it. I didn't, because what was this? This was a weekend. This was Friday. I thought price action would come back down over the weekend to where we were on Friday, back down here. And of course it never did. It kept going. And then boom, Monday we had this big candle up. So what happened to where we were on Friday? And did we leave a gap there? I don't know if we did. I think it probably got filled. But yeah, so I missed this opportunity right here at 58.8, and I couldn't. But I did load up on because I had deleveraged back here with this thing and this thing here, and everything that was going on with. And see, this was the weekend as well. Was this the weekend? No, that was Monday. This was the weekend too. We dumped on Friday and then we pumped over the weekend and didn't really come back down. We did a little bit here, not quite to where we were here on Friday, but whatever. And then this was September 11th. So who's gonna... I was real hesitant after all this dumpiness to buy in on September 11th with all the crap that's going on in Israel and Iran and Lebanon and all that stuff. And then also here was October 7th. Yeah, October 7th was right here. So I was real hesitant to buy in here around 59 at this low. With October 7th coming up, which is the 1-year anniversary of the Hezbollah attack on Israel. So, yeah, I was very reluctant to, do leverage, increase my leverage to a point where we could easily see on some sort of war scares like a 20% drop. Maybe here 60 down to 48 maybe all the way down here, and that's where the whatever this channel is, the weekly Gaussian it's something, whatever it is. So I did see that as quite a possibility anyway, regardless. So anyway, I did increase my holdings of Bitcoin here, and that's the only thing. All my alts, I'm just letting them ride. I bought them 2 years ago. I'm just letting them sit. I'm not doing any trades. It's too much, way too much to manage. I got like maybe 30 different coins. I just bought at the bottom of the market in October 22, and just see what happens. Let's see what happens. Some of them are less than I bought them at, and quite a few are substantially. I got Solana and Render. I got Render at 40 cents. So some of them are doing really, really good, and others not so good, and others, pretty good. But Bitcoin, I am taking advantage of leverage, and so I did buy back in here around 67. Yeah, around here. And but now I do have room because since the summer when we had all this crap going on. First of all, the 4th of July crap when I was on vacation and we saw this big dump. We came down here. Yeah, of course, all this is going on. And then, yeah, so I was on vacation right here. And then we had this freaking dump. I'm like, are you serious? I'm out in the camping and with, very spotty internet and crap going on. Anyway, in this time period, I was still way over leveraged because we had been trading up here. We've been trading up here, so my leverage, liquidation point was, way up here in the upper 50s, maybe even 60, something like that. Because we were trading up in 70s. It was at least in the upper 50s, I think. But boom, we came down here. I had to de-risk a lot there. And then I thought I was okay. And then what happens, this carry trade thing happens. It's like, holy crap, what the hell's going on here? So, yeah. But, which I didn't get liquidated or anything like that. But, yeah, I'm not back to where I was back then. And I'm much more conservative now than I was then. But I do have a lot of, I have a little bit of room to load up some more. And the question is, since I missed this stupid thing and I couldn't buy until here, and then the same thing happened here. Wasn't this? This is a weekend right here. And then Sunday we took off. We took off here. And we left a gap. We left a huge gap. So that kind of messed me up too. Anyway, I'm in a good position, but I'm not, you kick yourself because I'm not absolutely as best as I could be. I'm missing out on on the ultimate gains here, but can't really complain. So what is going to happen now? Anyway, so I did call this here, this green line, pretty damn accurately. So you would have thunk here that maybe I knew this was going to happen, whatever. I should have been a little bit more prepared. But, okay, so what are we going to do now? That's the question. Are we going to come down here? Are we going to come down here? And if we do, how far do we go? Do we come down to there? 87? Do we come down to here? Around 81? Do we fill the gap over here? Down about 76 and a half? That would be a big dump right there, and I don't know if we can do that right now. Well, let's look at the volume here. Now, this is Coinbase. So we did have quite a bit of volume initially, and it is kind of dying out here. We don't know because this is just Monday. So this is Monday. What did we do the previous Monday? Right there. That was a lot because we were pumping. What did we do the previous Monday? Right there. Well, we are doing a little bit more than the previous Monday, but not much. And what about the Monday before that? That's right here. Oh, probably pretty much about the same. And the Monday before that, yeah, about the same, in the ballpark. So has volume died back down to what it was before this rally? Kind of, almost. It's certainly dying out a lot from this pumpiness that we had. So are we losing steam here? Are we losing steam enough that the Bears can come in and say, hey, F you Bulls. F you Bulls for fucking with us back here. I bet they were pissed, man. There was a lot of liquidations. I saw huge liquidations, like a $32 million liquidation and $18 million liquidation in Bitcoin. Yeah, so I bet they're freaking pissed. Anyway, I'm rambling on, and I haven't even gotten to the point of what's going to happen. So we are on a daily time frame. Let's turn on the Gaussian channel for a second here. You know what? Before we do that, let's look at something else. Now, if you watch Jason Pizzino of the Pizzino Bros, I watch them both. I watch Crown and Tyler. And Tyler's just like, because he's like so cool. But no, I don't watch George very much anymore. I watch Rob, Dan or Rob, whoever you think he is, and James and Ben sometimes, and then the Coin Bureau guys. They're cool. They're very informative, and they got cool commercials, and then like all the NFA live things with whoever they are, whoever happens to appear on their things. Anyway, so that's who I watch online. But I try to come up with my own stuff. Well, it is. Everything that I come up with is my own stuff. But what's really, really funny is how a lot of times it falls right in line with, sometimes it falls in line with what other people are saying too. So what Jason is looking at is he's looking at this. The USTD dominance. What is this? USDT. Jesus Christ. I'm up kind of late. It's 3 in the morning. So USDT dominance on the well, it doesn't matter what time frame you look at it on, but what does matter is that he's looking at it on not the logarithmic scale, just the regular scale. See, I'll have it on log right now. Let's switch to a weekly time frame. And you can see this line that I've drawn right here. And it's not touching anything. It's just way out here by itself. It kind of comes close to that and close to that right there. But other than that, it doesn't come close to anything because he is not looking at it on a log scale. He's looking at it on a regular scale like that. And when you do that, then, Kate, stop. That line connects the market. Well, USDT bottoms, which happen to be Bitcoin tops. This is right here. This is June 2019. Was that a top? I guess it was. But here, this is February 2020, before the COVID crash. Here we have, we have several touches here. And around the March, April 2021 timeframe, between February and May 2021, where the first top was, and then here in November of 2021, where the second top was, and then here in March of 2024, where we broke our all-time high, and now currently where we're at right now. So when we bounce off of here is we could be doing something like we did back here, where we touched it first in February, but then kind of oscillated, along it, kept bouncing off of it until May. So February, March, April, May, like 4 months. So here we are in November, and then December, January, February, March, maybe into March, or maybe into February, or maybe something entirely different. So what he's saying is that, so we could have a top here and bounce. Bounce with USDT bounce, which means Bitcoin would dump from here, which seems very, very reasonable. However, the thing is, do we just keep creating newer highs in Bitcoin as we follow this trend line and set higher lows here, or at some point do we break through this trend line and see a huge rally in Bitcoin? That could be right here. So if we do break this, we're sitting right on it right now. Sitting right on it. So if we do break so far, we've kind of just wicked through it a little bit. But, and my line's drawn as accurately as I can. You can see here, we're away from that one a little bit. Away from that one a little bit. But we touch here. We touch there. Spot on. And touch there, spot on. So that's the best I can draw that. We're pretty damn close there, and we're pretty damn close there. So, do we come crashing down through there and Bitcoin just skyrockets? I don't know if we're ready to skyrocket now, because we are seeing a pullback in volume, but we just had our run up last week, so, or the week before, and still had a lot of exuberance last week. So, a lot of volume. So, who knows what's going on here as far as this goes. And is this affected by, let's see what USDC dominance is doing. Now, I tried to draw a line here, but it's different. Is it different? I don't know. But USDC hasn't been around as long. So is maybe some of that USDT dominance getting going to be affected because Yeah, because there's more USDC in the market. So that would tend for it to be lower, a little bit, USDT to be lower than it normally would be, right? So I don't know. Who knows? And who knows if we could even go by those things. But anyway, that's one way to look at things. And if you are looking at this, then we are coming through here a little bit. If in fact these lines are drawn accurately, which it looks like they pretty much are. But also you got to consider these are not on log scale either. And so there you have that. Just one way to look at things. Something to keep in mind and watch for it on this other one. It seems to be really interesting. If Bitcoin, if this breaks down through this trend line, then things could get pretty interesting. So, well, before I get to what I really want to talk about, which is my thing that I'm noticing, and which is really, really cool. Let's look at the liquidation heat map. Now, earlier, there was a big yellow bar right here. It was like hundreds. There was like several of them with hundreds of millions of something or other dollars. What does it have? Yeah, hundreds of millions of dollars. And now it's back down to, like 38 and 36. But I haven't refreshed it. So let's refresh it and see what it's at now. Yeah, it's even less, I think. Oh, no, it's 48. The color is... it varies depending on what other leverage is out there. So there you have that. And what is that at right there? That is at 92,800, let's say. 92,800 to the upside and just right around 91 to the downside to liquidate those people. Where it's yellow at. I like to take a look at the futures too not the futures, the order book over here on CoinGlass as well. And hard to tell a lot by it, but see there are more sellers than buyers here, and I like to look at this thing because it paints a pretty picture of things. But what's really, really weird here is that in the middle right here on the selling in the red, this part from where it's like up in the air, it's 100,000. It's 100,000 until you get over here. So this first section in the middle is 101,000. I don't know why that is. And then it starts at 91 something, right about there. Which is really, really strange. I don't know what the hell's going on there. So you need to cut out that little section and scoot the red over, and then bring this what are we on right here? Bring this Coinbase mountain down so that it touches the bottom. So it's kind of off. There's something weird going on with it. But that's what that is. The point being is there's a lot bigger of a mountain on the right side than the left side. And then you can look at the USDT pair as well. and then switch to 100. Whoa, there's a lot more sellers over here than buyers. Yeah. So I think they want us to dump. But all this stuff changes all the time. So anyway, let's get to what I really wanted to talk about so I can go to bed. I don't want to go to that Bitcoin. I do, but first let's go over here to the Coinbase Bitcoin because the chart's a little bit cleaner, and let's turn on our Gaussian channel. Oops, I did the wrong thing there. There we go. So we're on a weekly time frame now. Oh, so you can see that's what those lines are that I have on my chart. They represent the weekly Gaussian channel. And we do not want to go down there. And you can see that here on August 5th and September 2nd, we came right down to the top of that channel and bounced off, which is really, really good. So that's good to see. Which kind of tells me that we're not going to go below 60,000 unless that's going to be the start of our bear market. So it should be safe to leverage up to 60,000 unless we do all of a sudden this is the top here, and then we do enter a bear market. Then you're effed. Now that orange dotted line on top, I think, is the 5-day. Oops. It's the 5-day Gaussian channel, I believe. Let's take a look and see if that's accurate. Yeah, that's the top of the 5-day Gaussian channel. There we go. And so you can see then here as well that we bounced off it right here finally on the 5-day period starting October 22nd, and haven't touched it since, which is also good because we had fallen into it, and we discussed that here on the channel. Well, we discussed it way back when we saw it coming right here. Well, not there because I was on vacation, but when we were coming back down here in this area, yeah, I said, hey, look out for this. And sure enough, we got stuck in it for quite a while, and then finally did bounce out of it there. Now let's look at the daily. I don't have anything marked on here for the daily. Oh, I do. Here is the daily line. Let's adjust that a little bit. There, I adjusted the daily. I went away for a second so you wouldn't have to be more bored than you already are. So we are way clear where we're at right now. We are way clear of the weekly, the 5-day, and the daily. And the daily's coming up here. We should stay clear of it as long as we don't come way over here into December. Well, this would start flattening out over here. So I don't think we'd have a problem unless we started dumping downwards into it for an extended period of time. I don't think that's going to happen, but let's look at the 4-hour Gaussian channel. And you can see that it is coming right up on us right here. It is right on our freaking front door. And what have we done with the 4-hour Gaussian channel in the past? Well, look at this. We interacted with it quite a bit. And when we do rally upwards and come into it, we get sucked down into the bottom, and struggle with it. So we've had over the past Well, now arguably we've just been going sideways and up and down and sideways. So that's why we've had such a relationship with it. But here in February, I mean, the beginning of the year, we came up through it early on in January. And as soon as we came up through it, we kind of went sideways, got back into it, bounced off the center line, and started a nice rally upwards. But what happened when we go sideways and touch it, then we dump down into it, down to the bottom. We kind of get sucked into it for a little while and then have to work to get out of it. Now here, wow, we just wicked into it right here and managed to escape. And then you can see the other times we wicked out right down to the top because we were rallying. And when we did, finally, weren't able to bounce off of it, what happened? That's what happened right there. Well, let's go back and look at, to be fair, let's look at the same part of the cycle that we're in right now. Oh, I guess we'd have to, let's turn this guy on. There we go. Oh, we're in 2023. Well, let's see what we did in the beginning of 2023. See how we stayed clear of it. We stayed very, very clear of it. And we're going back in time to guess we gotta go back more. Almost there. Here we go. So this is similar to where we're at right now, I believe. And so you can see what happens when we come over here and touch it, then we fall into it. Now, this is a good example of staying out of it. And what happens when we fall into it. It's not really a good example at all. But you can see in a bull rally, we stay clear of it. That thing is for sure. Oh my God, we were on a, no wonder things were weird. We weren't on a log scale. Let's go back to where we are today. All right, so I'm showing you this on the Coinbase chart because there's not a bunch of lines and you can see what I'm talking about. But I'm going to switch over to the chart with a lot of lines and then zoom in. So hopefully there won't be as many lines when I zoom in. And because I've drawn some other things over there to kind of get a feel for what may happen this week and possibly next week. Now here you can see, so a lot of people are making an ascending triangle, myself included. And problem is with that, where's the top? Is the top right here? Is the top right there? Now, arguably, this could be the top where these candle bodies are, or is the top all the way up here? It's this tippy top. Oh, we only have one contact point there. If we come down to these candle bodies here, we have this candle body contacts and then these wicks here. Now, if we come all the way down here, though, we got several wicks acting right along there. And we are on a 4-hour time frame, keep in mind. So, is that the top right there? Or do we have more of a not a top, not a straight? We don't have a real flat top there. Anyway, regardless. So a lot of times we want to bust a move from here because this is really a channel right here. Oh my God, I'm drawing all these lines now. It's really... It's really a channel that we're traveling upwards in. And we're stopped being halted by this ceiling right here. And then when we finally bust a move, then we do, come on, then we do move up to the top of the channel quickly like that, which is why this is the target right there. Or that's the measured move, and that's the target right there. But as you know from all the lines of my chart, we don't necessarily stay in these channels all the time. Now see, what's interesting though is here, how if we take that and we clone it, and then we put it right here on top of that one, you can see how we have been traveling in this channel here. And then we kind of dumped down to the lower channel, fell completely out of both of them for quite a while. And then here we've come back up into it. So then really, could we see a move all the way back up here? Maybe up to 100,000, 103,000. Quite possibly that could be the move. Or do we do a little baby move like this up to... yeah, see? Maybe just under it. We don't quite hit 100K. And we could do that by Friday. Could very well do that by Friday. About 97, 98K. Now, I think Crown said something about 97. Looking at his herpy-derpy squiggly line thing that he does. So that is a possibility. But if we do that, where is this 4-hour Gaussian channel going to go? It's going to continue upwards here. It's kind of wanting to go a little bit sideways because we're consolidating here. But if we go up to 100 or close to it, this is going to keep going right up with us. And if we have any sort of sideways action here, which we will have, we're going to get sucked down into this. So the question here is, do we get sucked down right now before the week ends? And get sucked down into here, come down to like 82, which, who also said that? I think, yeah, that's what Crown said at the end of his video today. And a lot of times I'm wondering, are these guys really just looking at a Gaussian channel on one screen that they're not showing us? and then calling out these numbers on another screen that we see. Because the Gaussian channel right now, you can see on the right scale right here, the top of the Gaussian channel is at 88.6 and the bottom of the Gaussian channel is at 83. So, which isn't 82, but yeah, a lot of times we do wick through the bottom of it. So, that's the question. We're going to have a pullback. Do we have the pullback now? And then this continues sideways, making the channel continue sideways, turn to the right a little bit, enough, so that we can rally on through December, January, February, without having to deal with it? Or do we bounce here, possibly up to 100? If we only go to 97, you know, that might be trouble. If we only go to 97, then we're going to come back down here. We're going to get stuck because we're going to probably retest this top, get caught in here, come back down, go sideways all the way through December into next year. That's going to be boring as hell and really, really suck. I would much rather come down into this, into the end of November and possibly the first week of December, and then bounce here. That would be, well, yeah, actually November's just right here. The end of November's right here. So we could probably just see this move in this channel and back out by December, and then rally up. And then what would probably happen is back in January then, oh my God, I gotta go away. Let me squish everything together. January, here is January. Wow, 138. I don't think we're going to go back into that channel. Maybe if we stay in this channel right here and we get to, well, what's probably going to happen is that we do a little something like this. We do go sideways, and when we go sideways, we go into a third channel like that, and travel upwards in there. So January, you know, maybe we're here at 125,000. That was the number somebody said too. I don't think it was Crown. I think maybe it was Jason or maybe it was Michael. 122,000 somebody came up with. Or it could have been Zombie. I don't know who said it. But, yeah, I think that's quite a possibility by the end of the year. 125K or 122K, as somebody said. And then, I think, and I think it would be pretty obvious that a lot of people then are going to take profits in January. But of course that depends on what the market is doing. I mean, if we're rallying hard, I don't think anybody's going to take profits right as soon as January starts. But I think that would be the thing to do, is people are going to sell off in January, take their profits. And you might see a significant pullback all the way back down here to like 90,000, where we are. You might see that big. So if we saw a 30, let's say we saw a 20% correction from 125, that would be like 25,000. That would be down to about 100. So I'm not sure, but I think something like that's going to happen. Now let's switch to the other chart so I can show you what we're looking at this week. All right, so here we are on the Bitcoin US dollar index chart on the 4-hour time frame, and we do have the Gaussian channel turned on here, and I've drawn these purple lines here. You know what? I'm gonna turn off the Gaussian channel because I have these purple lines here that I've drawn that represent the top and the bottom of the Gaussian channel, which is currently at 88.5 and 83.2, and that's why. Because it's come up. When I did look at this, it was at 82. That's why it's at 83 now. So let's turn off the Gaussian channel just so everything is normally colored. And now I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Here's our consolidation right there. And our decreasing volume here. I mean, it's still pretty high, but I can see how it's decreasing. We'll see what the rest of the week brings. Where the hell are we? There we are. So I have these boxes drawn. Remember, we're on a 4-hour time frame. And here's our Gaussian channel, which actually happens to coincide with this red channel here. You can see that one coincides with the bottom of this red channel, and this one coincides with this part of the red channel. It's the center line, and that red channel is a channel that I've drawn. That we are traveling upwards in. Since October. It's hard to see because I have a lot of channels on there, but anyway. So if we did have a top, well, the way I see it, this line right here is the base. It's a channel we're traveling up in, and it just so happens to be the base of our ascending triangle. And well, that's why, like I drew on the other chart, it's this channel right here. And it's where we were traveling back here. Since September. Oh, it needs multiple channels stacked on top of it, but it's believe me, it's parallel to something else that's significant. So that's the channel we're traveling up in, aside from this little doohickey here. Now the key channel, though, you can see these boxes. I've drawn these 3 boxes, and they represent the days. This one represents Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then Friday's over here. There's no box for Friday. And this is UTC time. They start and end in UTC time. And I think quite possibly this could be the price, the range of price within these days. Now the thing is, if we do come down here, we're entering the Gaussian channel. If we do come all the way down to this line, which is where we had support in the past right here, we do have the potential of coming all the way down to that line. We've had lots of support since we rallied up here. In the very beginning, we had a lot of support right there. And so that could be a support level for us. But coming down to that support would bring us into the 4-hour Gaussian channel, which could spell. Well, see, that might be as low as we go. And that's at about 87,000. 87.5. See, I don't necessarily think if we did that, if we just came down to 87.5 and continued to chop sideways here, that would bring us into this 4-hour Gaussian channel. And it would also cause that channel to turn sideways. And so if we could just stay oscillating between here, the bottom of this channel, and the center line of this channel right here at about 94, that would get us into the 4-hour Gaussian channel, turn it sideways, and we'd be going into the bottom of it, but not really, because we're going sideways. The channel's going up, and then we bounce next week. I'm really tired and confused. So the reason why the top of our okay, here we go. The reason why the top of our symmetric triangle, or our ascending triangle, there is no top really, because see this line that I've drawn here? This is perfectly parallel to the center line of our channel that we're traveling in. And when I pull it down here, you can see that we hit the, okay, God damn it. I'm trying to get, there we go. We hit the tops there, and we hit these tops here, and we hit these tops here. That's why the top of our channel isn't flat, because it's not a flat top. We're traveling parallel to our center line of the channel here, and to this channel here. We're consolidating. We're having an upwards accumulation kind of deal here. So this very well could be what we do. We just keep traveling, oscillating up in this channel here. Now, what's also interesting too, I'm going to erase that line because I got too many lines. What's interesting too is that channel that I'm talking about is the most important channel in Bitcoin history. It's the channel from which all parabolic rallies start, with either a consolidation just below them as resistance or on top of them as support, and then we finally bounce off of it, or we finally shoot up through it. Well, here what we're doing is we're consolidating actually in the bottom part of the channel, and I think that continues, and then maybe we consolidate in the upper part of the channel, which the top of which is at 102,000. So maybe we do that for a while, and then I don't know. We got CPI data coming December 11th, and the FOMC meeting December 18th, I believe. So we could just do this until then. Travel in the bottom portion of the channel, travel in the upper portion of the channel. And what's interesting is this. We are kind of wedging upwards here. We're kind of wedging upwards here. And Friday Friday we could be right here in this little box. Is that Friday? Oh no, that's Sunday. Sunday we could be right here. So I don't know if this makes any sense. When are we going to close the gap at 77K? Or not? I don't think we are. Now, this is what's at 82K. See, we could do something like this. If we come down here and we get sucked into the 4-hour Gaussian channel, we could come all the way down through it. The bottom of it is at, well, it's at about 83.5, 84, 85. It's traveling upwards pretty quickly. We could come all the way down through it and touch this red and blue channel right here at 82. That's what I was looking at earlier. And that red and blue channel would be touching, we'd be revisiting this area of support right here where we kind of had a little bit of consolidation right here. And actually, we did touch this blue line right here. The blue lines are all related. So that is, this blue line right here is the top of this blue channel. Here's the center line of the blue channel. And here's the bottom of the blue channel. So since we came up here, got rejected off the top of the blue channel. Let's see where the center line is. I'm going to I hope I get the right channel here. If I click on that, go to settings. Let's see if we can make this. I might not have the right one here. I'm trying to make this center line really fat. I don't know if I got the right one. I don't know. Do you think that's better? I don't think it is. But the center line is right here. You know what? Let me click on it. And I can make it really fat. Oh, see, I was on the wrong one. So now I got that center line really fat. There we go. So you can see it. So you can see we did wick down to it here with this candle. Wick down to that center line. We wick down to about the center line there. No, I haven't interacted with it since. I'm just trying to guess areas of where we could retest. Maybe this green line. The green line would be the other alternative because there's a lot of consolidation there. There's consolidation here at this blue line. So if we did dump down, it'd be down to about 82. Or, that's at about 78. That's not quite hitting that 70. It has to be like 76.5. So I don't think we're going to come down to it. I think we could possibly fake people out into thinking that we're going to come down to it. I don't think we're going to close that gap. I think worst case scenario, we come down to 78. I think possibly we could come down to 82. And I think there's a good chance we could just continue to consolidate here sideways. But whatever we do, the point being is that we have until we're running out of time. We're running out of time because if we don't bust upwards, which I don't think we're going to do it today. Yeah, I don't really think we're going to see explosive move upwards this week. And if we don't, that's going to pull us into the Gaussian channel on the 4 hour. And that's going to suck us down. Quite possibly to 82. Maybe just continue sideways here in this channel. But if we do, then we are breaking out of our... ascending triangle that we're forming here. And we have to make a decision by the end of this week. We could wedge ourselves all the way up here and then see an explosion. But where would we really explode to? I don't know. Let's see what happens the next few days. All right. Don't like this video. You're probably not even awake. You probably fell asleep.